Hello everybody, it's another episode of the PMD Tea Buyers Club. I'm your host, Alan Silva. Today I'm talking to you about Orange Pekoe Teas. I'm not going to tell you about the history of Orange Pekoe. I'm going to link the PMD blog into this video at the bottom if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not, I'll put it up on the Facebook as well. And if you head over to our website, you can see all our blogs and you can catch the one about the history of Orange Pekoe and where the name Orange Pekoe comes from. But today I want to talk to you about the 3 Orange Pekoes that we've got in stock on the website at the moment, because we're seeing a lot of customers who are quite interested to really see single estate tea, but also see single estate tea from the same tea grade, but you're not making use of, 1, the bundle, and 2, you're not getting the whole experience because you're not tasting as many regions as possible. So I'll take you through the 3 teas. I'll link the bundle in as well for those of you wanting to try Orange Pekoes and see how region, elevation, soil conditions, estates, cultivars, how they all make a difference in the type of tea. So I've got 3 Orange Pekoes here. Let me start from low all the way to high. So coming into the low country, into the region of Ruhuna, this is the southern tea planting district. This is the lowest tea planting district in Sri Lanka. We've got a wonderful tea estate known as Berabula. Now, Berabula is very similar to other low-grown tea plantations in that it uses small holders. It has its own holding as well. So you've got a real mix of where your tea grows around. Sometimes you've got tea growing next to paddy fields, growing next to coconut trees, growing next to fruit and vegetables. So you get a real mixture of flavor down there in the south. And you actually tend to, because it's growing at a lower elevation, you tend to get thicker, stronger cups of tea. However, if you look at these cup colors, you'll notice that this Orange Pekoe from Berabula is quite light. And if you look at this one here, the middle one, it's a little darker, and this is a little lighter than this one, but on the whole, it's quite light. So what's the point? Don't expect, break off the kind of box that you have about tea. Don't expect something just because it's from the south to be dark and strong and thick and whatever else you've heard. You might find some surprises down in the south. In the middle, one of the estates that's really one of my personal favorites, and it went away for quite a long time. And again, there's a blog article on each of these individually on the estates. This one is from St Andrew's Estate, which is it's between Kotagala and Hatton, up in the Dimulla region, and this is real Dimulla. What I mean by real Dimulla, as tea tasters in Sri Lanka, we have encompassed the whole of the Western High Grown to be Dimulla, but actually, strictly speaking, Dimulla is this area just above Hatton, around Kotagala. That is Dimulla, and south from that is the region of Pekoe. 2 very separate regions, 2 very separate districts that today, for tasting purposes, have been clustered into one. And then again, I can understand why, because many tasters in Colombo haven't even left, west of Avisavila. So, it's all the same to them. But really, really nice tea estate. One of my personal favorites, a real good seller that was on our website for a long time till this tea estate decided to go and make Rotavane Orthodox tea. The flavor that you'll get in this cup was lost when you went for the smaller leaf grades. So really nice to see this back, and we've worked a long time with these guys to get this flavor. Finally, on this site, Inverness Tea Estate, it's been on the website for a while. We've been working with Inverness for a long time. However, this year there was a shortage of Inverness, and the reason is that we had a different management come onto the plantation, a new senior superintendent, and the way they have started to change the tea has been that they have gone for this type of Pedro Lover's Leap type manufacture, where the cup colors have been very light. And when I was up there in January, the cup colors were not this kind of, orange that you find here, but more of a lighter yellowy color, and that's because they were doing almost a direct fire manufacture. And it's taken us a while to get back to getting this type of flavor that we, as well as customers, have enjoyed from Inverness. So let me nose all the cups and let me tell you what kind of flavors you get from them. So starting with the Berabula down here in the south, here you get a big caramel smell coming through. It's very fruity, very caramelly. Here into the St Andrews, the first thing that really gets to you actually is roses. That's the biggest note that comes through here. It's very floral, very different to that. That's much more fruity, that's much more caramelly in flavor. Here, a very aromatic, floral aroma there. And finally, the Inverness here, completely different. This is much more, you have this, astringent smell coming from this, and you get this cool winter green note coming through here. Typical Norelia captured here. You get a bit of that eucalyptus that grows in the area. So 3 different cups of tea, all with 3 different aromas. How do the cups taste? Well, let's start down here in the south and let's work our way up in elevation. So, cup color, beautiful bright orange, not too dark, not what you'd usually expect from a southern cup. Although the cup is light, that cup still has a level of thickness to it. It's not what you expect. You'd expect it to be quite thin on the palate, but then you get a lot of depth here in this tea. It coats your palate. It's thick, it's juicy. You get a big hit of blackcurrant coming through. You get that slight hint of caramel. Not as much caramel as you'd find in a Lumbini or in a New Bethanakanda, but you get this note of caramel coming through. Quite a thick, well-rounded tea. Very nice. Moving on to the next cup, you can see that the cup color is actually darker. Now think about that. These teas are growing at north of 4,500 feet. This is well down below 1,000. Look at the difference in cup color. You'd expect this to be darker, but not always the case. Let's have a taste of this St. Andrews. That's a wonderful tea. That is a wonderful, wonderful tea. It has this rosy flavor coming through, and actually where I think, well, I'll come on to this, but has a wonderful rosy flavor coming through. Typical Dimulla tea, very aromatic. Get that rose note that sits in your palate mid to back, very different to that Barabula. And finally, the Inverness, little lighter than the St. Andrews. Not surprising because the tea is growing up in Norelia region. You're up at about 6,000 feet. This is on the other end of Norelia compared to Pedro or to Lover's Leap as you may know it. So a little lighter in color, nice golden rim to the cup. Let's have a taste. Astringent. You get this astringency that comes through, you get this biscuity note that comes through, but really the big note that you get here is this slight lemony astringency note that comes straight through the cup. It's actually very, very nice, although it has that astringency. I think the thing with all 3 of these cups is that you would enjoy these teas without any milk, but that's not to say that you drink these alone. I think these teas are absolutely perfect for pairing with food, and I'll actually give you a few different food ideas that you could have with them. This Inverness, starting up on this side now, this Inverness with that astringency would be ideal with something like a lemon drizzle cake. All 3 of these teas would be ideal for afternoon teas. Perfect for at about 3-4 o'clock if you're sitting down for a midday pick-me-up and you want to have it with something on the side. These 3 would all work. This one, I would say the Inverness, would be one to have with something like a lemon drizzle cake. The one in the middle, the St. Andrews, well, that floral aroma with a bit more thickness in the cup, this would be ideal with cream teas. Scones, clotted cream, jam, this type of tea, it would be absolutely ideal. In fact, this is what I've been enjoying over the past few weeks since this tea has come back. Really, really, as far as pairings go, it's a classic. This Orange Pekoe tea, cream, jam, and scones, an absolute winner. And finally, this Barabula, where would I have this? There's something a bit more thicker, a bit more juicier there. Well, I had this particular tea with some Victoria sponge cake recently, and the 2 went really well. So 3 different options there for you, 3 different elevations, 3 different estates, 3 different food pairings. There's a bundle, guys, on our website. Go check it out. You'll save money off these, because a lot of you guys are buying 2 of these and not buying the other. Buy the bundle, you'll save money right across the range, and you'll get to understand by tasting these teas the actual beauty of single estate tea through one grade of tea. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be back soon with some more teas to talk about.